Welcome to the very first episode of F1 Fantasy in Review. Oh, wait, Nando isn't looking. One second. Much better. In this episode, I'll go through the current standings and my ratings for each driver and team, giving a short opinion on why I've rated them the way I have, then followed by a quick recap of the dramatic ending of the Belgium GP, followed by, in my opinion, some of the more interesting news and gossip from the F1 summer break. For all future episodes, they will be released after each race weekend, and within those episodes, I hope to share some of the latest F1 news, as well as highlight the genius plays, the mad moves, and the teams to forget from our fantasy team selections. Now, follow me as we jump in to review the drivers and team's performance so far in the season. Starting off with Red Bull, we've seen a lacklustre performance from Perez, with him always promising to bounce back, but this is yet to be seen, Verstappen carrying heavily. Now McLaren, an incredible improvement from the previous year, but we've seen both the drivers and team struggle with their newfound success. Let's wait and see if the team can carry this forward. Ferrari, an average score for an average team. Average across the board. It was a shame to see their early success fade away in somewhat a quiet and very disappointing fashion. Mercedes surprising once again, a real bounce back, and could we see Hamilton regret the move to wearing red? Really disappointing to be putting Russell with 3 stars as well as the team. Sometimes you can't predict everything, but those mistakes can't be ignored. Aston Martin, a below average team. Although they are consistently fighting for points, it does feel that they're going in the wrong direction. That shine from last season is wearing off, and it does feel like every upgrade results in a negative outcome. The RB team, disappointing at first, but could be turning their season around to fight for 6th in the Constructors' Championship. I think it must be mentioned Tsunoda's ability to ignore the talk about Ricciardo and keep outperforming him in most races. Haas, well, they are fast and qualify high, but have a bad habit of dropping down the field even faster. It's the story of their season, let's see if they can improve. Alpine, I'm surprised they're not lower in the ranking considering they started the season with a number of bad results. It seems Gasly is keeping that team locked in and focused on fixing their issues. On the other hand, Ocon's results and behaviour has ended him with moving somewhere else. Williams, a very disappointing start to the season thus far, but I hope to see improvements in the second half. Or we might even have to wait to the 2025 season to see how James Vowles' plans for the team's success comes together. And finally, Kick. Well, they might as well be kicked to the curb as they have not brought much to the sport. Maybe, with the Audi takeover in the future, we might see a different story.
G'day, quite a remarkable day at the Belgian Grand Prix. George Russell winning the race and then losing it, disqualified.
And there we go. A new winner of the Belgian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton, the second of his season, and a great result for him, and a great result for the team. Well, all things considered, it was disappointing for me, and definitely disappointing for George, but great to see Hamilton back on top. Now, let's see how that hits the standings. Red Bull still seems safe up there, but they've got to watch their backs, and that fully relies on Perez's performance. McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes seem to be challenging each other, and possibly giving Red Bull the time they need to reset and make sure they finish this season comfortably on top. While looking at the rest of the table, Aston Martin seems safe in their position, and 6th is being fought for, but the rest of the teams, unless anything dramatically changes, will probably remain in their current positions, if not possibly swap around, but no major changes. To no one's surprise, this man must be spoken about. Perez's behaviour is positive, but his performance is not. He's always promising and setting goals that he cannot keep. Let's see what happens for him. And it cannot be said that Red Bull have not given him the chance to bounce back from this dramatically bad performance. So, as we all must now move on, let's talk about the big change over the summer break. The man, the myth, the Carlos Sainz. Coming in with all the drama, but we now know it won't be Mercedes, it won't be Red Bull, but Williams. I think personally this could be a great move for him, and a great move for the team. The setup for James Vowles' success with Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz could be unparalleled in a transformation from this team to the team in 2025. I will have to wait and see and hope for good things for them, and this dynamic partnership with the experience and the hunger and James Vowles' tactical spirit is a great chance for success. Now to move on to the F1 fantasy results itself. For me, it was definitely a 0 to 0 moment and very painful and still very, very raw. I went from first to last, and I've got to tip my hat to Lawrence. It was a great team, a real surprise. It was a surprise. A surprising result for him, a surprising result for me, a surprising result for many. But you've got to give credit where credit's due. And you can see from the ranking, his team smashed it, my team was smashed. But Let's see if my team can bounce back this week. And it must be said, if we take a look at Lawrence's team, it was always set up to be very strong. Having the McLaren and Oscar Piastri combo was double trouble from the start and always going to result well. The genius part was having him ×2, which is fair play to Lawrence, really strong. Having also the Red Bull car, just guaranteed strength, and yes, with the result, it made it even stronger. So great team overall, really, really strong. Now if we just take a moment to look at my apparently rubbish team. It was once very shiny and strong, but now, with the Mercedes taking the double hit on George himself and the Mercedes constructors, well, there are rules and rules are there to be followed in this sport, and I respect it. Hopefully, as I say, that my team will bounce back. Having my dynamic setup of a McLaren driver and a McLaren constructor, as well as a Mercedes driver and a Mercedes constructor, has done me well, and I think I will continue doing this unless there are any big changes in the teams or we see any big strong developments on the tracks themselves. Moving on to this weekend, the Dutch GP. It seems to be set up to be quite an exciting one, with Max really wanting to carry forward his success from previous years and making this a fourth consecutive win at this track since it being brought back onto the calendar. And this may be difficult for him to carry forward the success, as many of the teams across the board have brought upgrades, from McLaren to Williams. McLaren might use this to catch up to the Red Bull in constructors, but also we might see those lower teams such as Williams claw back some success in this race and the second half of the season. We'll have to wait and see. Let's move on and have a look at the driver lineup for 2025. As we can see, we know a bit more about the situation. We can sort of lean towards understanding that Antonelli will be filling that Mercedes seat, and we now have confirmed for Alpine that Jack Dohan will be their second driver, and we'll have to see how Ocon performs at kick, as well as if RB keep Daniel Ricciardo in his seat. I hope you've enjoyed this short introduction to the second part of the season for F1 Fantasy, and I've made this video to make it more engaging and more interactive for everyone taking part in the league. Now please accept the abrupt ending to this, as the next GP starts in 24 minutes, but please, if you have any feedback or suggestions, please let me know, and look forward to making more of these in the future. Fun fact for anyone who has stayed this long, the F1 race in the Belgian Grand Prix was the first race in F1 history where every one in this top 10 starting was a race winner. This fun fact was sent in by Leo. Hope you've enjoyed. Bye!